From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Laddie Williams.
Hello, welcome. Tonight, PDP expels FCT Minister Wike, National Secretary Anyanwu, former Governor Fayose, and 8 others on Saturday for the anti-party activities, citing clear violations of party rules. And reactions trailed the expulsion of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and others from the PDP. Adamawa State Governor and Chairman of the PDP 2025 Elective National Convention, Amadu Fintiri, dissociated himself from the position of the party. And the federal government recommits to police reforms as the force inspects Special Forces barracks in Zamfara State. And U.S. President Donald Trump signs an executive order allowing a range of food products, including coffee, bananas, and beef, to escape his sweeping tariffs. And on business news, S&P Global Ratings upgrades Nigeria's outlook from stable to positive, highlighting renewed economic momentum fueled by President Tinubu's reform efforts.
On sports news tonight, a ticket to the final stage of the World Cup qualification is on the line as the Super Eagles of Nigeria face the DR Congo on Sunday in the African Playoff Final.
We'll begin tonight with politics. Well, the People's Democratic Party expelled the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and a former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, from the party for anti-party activities. The party also expelled the National Secretary of the party, Samuel Anyanwu, and 8 others. The decision was taken at the ongoing National Convention of the party in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The chieftain of the PDP, Mr. Bode George, moved the motion for the expulsion of 11 key members, citing what he described as activities inconsistent with the party's collective interests as reasons for the move. The chairman of the PDP in Bauchi State quickly seconded the motion. The governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, put the vote forward for members to adopt and ratify the expulsion of those involved, and it was unanimously accepted. The party unanimously voted to expel them for anti-party activities and fostering disunity with series of litigations against the interests of the party. The National Convention, which is currently holding at the Lagos Salami Stadium, Ibadan, has delegates from 17 states across the country in attendance.
Thank you. I now put the question on this motion for the expulsion of some officers listed 1 to 11, beginning with Edon Nyesom Wike, Ayo Fayose, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, Honorable Umar Bature, Adeyemi Ajibade, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Senator Mao, Honorable Austin Nwachukwu, Abraham Ama, George Dana, Chief Dan Obi, for the expulsion as per the motion raised ably by our elder statesman, citing our constitutional provisions as enumerated. That is Chief Olabode George, and ably seconded by my chairman, Mrs. Adamu Bunga. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you.
In our Constitution, Section 40, as amended, and are to be bound by its fundamental principles and aspirations as expressed in its constitution. The mentioned above have committed various breaches of the party's constitution, including support and canvassing for votes for candidates of election, conducting illegal and parallel congresses, sponsoring litigations against the party, most recent of which suit number C ABJ CS 2120 dated 2025 between Honorable Austin Wachuku and others versus INEC and others seeking to stop the 2025 elective national convention for no just cause, contrary to Article 58, subsection 1 and subsection J of our Constitution. In that case, Senator Samuel Ayahu, Ebu Umar Bature, Kamal Din Adeyemi Ajibade ingloriously supported Wike and others to ensure that the 2025 National Convention did not hold. The party has completely lost its esteem, regard, and respect in the eyes of the public on account of despicable conduct of the former governor of Rivers State and these men he recruited to help him destroy the party, contrary to Articles 58, subsection 1, subsection B, and subsection I of our Constitution. I, Chief Olabode George, hereby move that this convention should expel this person so mentioned above from the People's Democratic Party. I so move.
Meanwhile, Adamawa State Governor and Chairman of the People's Democratic Party 2025 Elective National Convention, Mr. Omar Fintiri, has dissociated himself from the position of the PDP, expelling the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, from the People's Democratic Party. According to Governor Fintiri, the decision is not in the best interest of the party, and so he will not be a party to any attempt that could further plunge the PDP into an ending crisis. He urged all stakeholders to work towards healing the divisions within the party and to strive for unity and cohesion, stating that as a party man, he remains committed to supporting efforts that promote peace, stability, and progress within the PDP. The governor reiterated that his position is guided by the desire for peace and reconciliation and will continue to work towards achieving this goal. I will take you live now to Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, for an update on proceedings at the PDP National Convention.
They never trouble no one, cause if they trouble this girl, mommy.
All right, we'll definitely get more updates as they come. All right, we see the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, led by Umar Damagum, is holding its national convention in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, against all uncertainty. The events leading up to the convention has been described by some as chaotic, wrapped in so much uncertainty, as well as several conflicting court judgments for and against the exercise. Our next report provides a background to the chaotic journey of the Damagum-led PDP to the Ibadan convention.
Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, entered into a new phase of crisis in August this year when the party's leadership fixed November 15 and 16 for its national convention. In preparation for the convention, state congresses were held, and the fallout from some of these congresses opened up existing cracks within the party's leadership and split it into two. The National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, the National Organizing Secretary, Umaru Bature, and some state chairmen became a splinter group, while Mr. Umaru Damagum led other members of the PDP National Working Committee. Undeterred by the split, the Damagum-led National Working Committee continued with its convention preparations with support from some state governors who head various convention committees. Dissatisfied with the developments, two state chairmen from Imo and Abia State, together with the South-South Zonal Secretary of the party, approached the court to stop the planned convention. On October the 31st, the Federal High Court in Abuja halted the planned convention and ordered a stop to all preparations. Less than 24 hours after that judgment was delivered, members of the Damagum-led PDP also got an ex parte order from the Oyo State High Court asking the party to proceed with its convention.
You will be at the convention.
Both parties continued to claim legitimacy of their positions regarding the planned convention.
The point to note is that there is no PDP convention going on tomorrow or any date anywhere in Nigeria, because the leadership of this party had said yesterday that there is no PDP convention anywhere.
It is absolutely practical, or practicable, if you want to use that word, for us to go to the convention. All the organs of the party, before these individual opinions, had agreed, because we are relying on the judgment of the Supreme Court.
In what appears to be a last-minute opportunity to weigh available options before them, the PDP governors, led by Bala Mohammed, called a meeting of party leaders on Thursday to decide on whether or not to go for the convention. Neither the PDP National Secretary, Samuel Anyanwu, nor any member of his group attended the meeting.
We have just come out of a critical stakeholders meeting where a lot of elaborate decisions were taken. And I want to tell you here that we are going to Ibadan to go for our convention, and the convention is sacrosanct.
However, on Friday, November the 14th, another Federal High Court judgment in Abuja ordered the PDP to stop the planned convention on the grounds that the former Jigawa State Governor, Sule Lamido, was unlawfully excluded from the contest. A few hours after that judgment in Abuja, another High Court in Oyo asked the PDP to proceed with the convention and ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to monitor the exercise. Time ticked so fast, and the long-awaited November 15 arrived, and amidst the uncertainty, the venue of the PDP National Convention in Ibadan comes alive. As events unfold, one question that prods the minds of political watchers is whether the outcome of this convention will stand in the face of the law or not. This is one question that only time will provide an answer to.
And to security matters now. Troops of the 25 Task Force Brigade have foiled a terrorist ambush near Wajiroko in the Azir multi-axis of Damboa local government area, Borno State, while returning from a routine patrol along the Sambiza Forest corridor. According to a statement by the acting director of Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Nele, the patrol team, led by Brigade Commander, Brigadier General M. Uba, and supported by civilian Joint Task Force operatives, came under intense gunfire before successfully fighting their way with their superior firepower. The fierce exchange forced the terrorists to retreat in disarray. However, 2 soldiers and 2 CJTF members lost their lives in the encounter. The Nigerian Army has extended condolences to their families, honoring them as heroes who died in service to the nation. She also debunked social media reports claiming the abduction of the brigade commander, urging Nigerians to disregard what she described as fake news. And in part two, after the break, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, calls for stronger collaboration with the judiciary to enhance understanding of legal frameworks governing aviation contracts. Join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories now. PDP expels FCT Minister Wike, National Secretary Anyanwu, former Governor Fayose, and 8 others for anti-party activities, citing clear violations of party rules. And reactions trailed the expulsion of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and others from the PDP. Adamawa State Governor and Chairman of the PDP 2025 Elective National Convention, Amadu Fintiri, dissociates himself from the position of the party. And the federal government recommits to police reforms as the force inspects a special forces barracks in Zamfara State. And U.S. President Donald Trump signs an executive order allowing a range of food products, including coffee, bananas, and beef, to escape his sweeping tariffs. And the federal government, through the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, is reaffirming its commitment to reforming the Nigeria Police Force by upgrading its facilities and modernizing its equipment nationwide. Speaking in Gusau, the capital of Zamfara State, during an assessment tour of the police special forces barracks in the state capital, the executive secretary of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, Mr. Mohammed Shaidu, says the government is expediting action in addressing the deplorable state of police facilities across the country.
The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund and his management team are here in Gusau on an official visit to the Governor, Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State.
The NPTF remains steadfast in its mission to strengthen the operational capacity, welfare, and morale of the Nigerian police force through strategic interventions in infrastructure, training, and equipment. Your Excellency, we are in Zamfara today to inspect the completed Special Forces Barracks at Daza area in Gusau.
With security forces' continuous engagement with banditry in parts of the state recording some level of successes, the governor is concerned that a lot more can be achieved with better equipment and facilities.
Honestly, I'm one of those who are really advocating for a total overhauling of the police welfare, if truly we want them to function effectively. And I believe it's just a matter of time this will come into play, inshallah, by the will of Allah. So I'm happy the Honorable Commissioner Housing is here. As far as land is concerned, you need to start working from now and identify a suitable land that we can hand over the certificate to the Police Trust Fund for them also.
The Executive Secretary of the Fund, accompanied by the State Governor, assesses the state of the facility.
I always say security is for the community. We are the people, we are part of our security. So we look at the community here, also enabling and making sure that this infrastructure, the maintenance to this property is well done. And thank God that the governor is here, has already also assured us that this would also be taken into consideration fully. So we're looking at also the state government to also doing in partnership to make sure that this place will be well kept.
I've gone around, I've seen what I saw, and the next thing is we should work together with the Security Trust Fund to see how we can make things better. I made a commitment to him that apart from what they're doing, the state government is also going to do something to look after the welfare of the police. It's an ongoing process, and we will continue to do that, inshallah.
Convinced that combating security challenges in Zamfara state depends largely on how well equipped security agencies like the police are, the Nigerian Police Trust Fund in 2021 built the Police Special Forces Barracks in the state capital, made up 104 units of two-bedroom bungalows.
And in security-related developments, the Association of Non-Indigens in Kaduna State have commended Governor Obasani for his inclusive style of leadership, improving security and promoting ethno-religious harmony, which they say has given every resident a sense of belonging, regardless of tribal or religious affiliations. Speaking during a news conference, the convener of the Non-Indigens Association, Chief Johnny Wakwere, notes that for the first time in many years, citizens from different parts of the country living in Kaduna feel fully integrated in the affairs of the state. The non-indigens, comprising of over 30 ethnic nationalities, say the administration of Governor Sani has demonstrated fairness, equity, and inclusion in the distribution of infrastructure development, economic empowerment, and promotion of religious tolerance.
For more than a decade, Kaduna State has often been in the news for the wrong reasons due to the recurring religious conflicts. But the non-indigenous community in the state is applauding Governor Obasani for changing the negative narrative about Kaduna through improved security, fostering unity and inclusion in the running of his administration since he assumed office more than 2 years ago.
Since assuming office, Governor Obasani has continued to demonstrate that Kaduna State belongs to everyone who lives, works, and contributes to its development, regardless of religion, religious affiliation, ethnic, or state of origin. His administration's deliberate policies and programs have created an enabling environment where non-indigens, both Christians and Muslims, feel accepted, valued, integrated into social and economic life of the state. We particularly applaud the governor's proactive approach to improving security, enhancing community peace building, and strengthening collaboration between security agencies and local communities.
For many years, the group says many residents from other parts of the country living in Kaduna have been left out of governance and development programs. But the situation is different under the present administration that respects the religious differences of the residents.
As residents drawn from different parts of Nigeria, we acknowledge and appreciate the deliberate efforts of the Kaduna State government under the leadership of Governor Obasani in promoting inclusiveness, tolerance, and mutual respect among adherents of various faiths. We affirm that Kaduna State was unfairly portrayed as divided along religious and ethnic lines, has in the recent years witnessed a remarkable transformation. Christians and Muslims now live, work, and interact freely without fear or suspicion.
The commendation by the non-indigens, observers say, is a further testament to Governor Obasani's effort to build a state where all residents, regardless of ethnic or religious background, can live, work, and prosper in peace.
And away from security matters to aviation, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has called for stronger collaboration with the judiciary to enhance understanding of legal frameworks governing aviation contracts. Speaking at the grand finale of the International Cape Town Convention Moot Court, which held at the Federal High Court Abuja, the Director General of the NCAA, Captain Chris Najomo, said the CTC has improved Nigeria's credibility with aircraft lessors and boosted investor confidence in the aviation sector. Our correspondent, Emanuela Ekele, reports.
The moot court, organized by the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development with support from the Aviation Working Group, AWG, presents a mock court aimed at familiarizing students, academics and judges on the Cape Town Convention through simulated judicial proceedings. The event, presided over by judges of the Federal High Court, featured 18 universities across Nigeria with a simulated courtroom session involving 2 teams of law students from the University of Benin and the University of Lagos.
To the panel of judges for a job so well done.
The Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority knows that many aircraft manufacturers and leasing companies were reluctant to engage with Nigerian operators in the past. The convention has since provided much-needed legal assurance, while the Secretary General of the Aviation Working Group, Mr. Jeffrey Woe, applauds Nigeria for hosting its first international Cape Town Convention moot court, describing the initiative as vital for integrating the treaty into the nation's legal practice.
Most airline manufacturing companies or leasing companies had problems or did not want to conduct business in Nigeria. But with the Cape Town Convention, assurances have been given, and through the Honorable Minister for Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo SAN, we now are in the good books of most of the organizations.
The moot court is a way to introduce students and the legal system to this very important treaty, which is so important economically to Nigeria, to help further familiarize the courts with the system. We note that very recently the courts passed a practice directive on how to address Cape Town cases, and this is an opportunity in an educational setting for us all to become more familiar with this treaty and to give the students a first-rate experience working with judges and industry and academics and major law firms.
This simulated courtroom session has provided a practical avenue for students on the judiciary and its provisions. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
And still on education, a former governor of Lagos State and as well Minister of Works, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, says getting an education has developed beyond studying for a degree to getting a job and solving societal problems. Mr. Fashola was the keynote speaker at the matriculation ceremony of Miva Open University, submitted that education in Africa must now be tailored towards problem solving, as the continent must look inwards to overcome its challenges.
Miva Open University, which began operating in 2023, is an institution of higher learning with 4 learning centers across the country. The leadership of the university says it is committed to building future-ready graduates.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Miva Open University, we know that education is not only about courses and credits. It is about a whole ecosystem of support. That is why we have invested in 15 community centers across Nigeria.
Miva was recently named a top 10 finalist of the highly prestigious Global EdTech Prize, which is being awarded today, and I was invited to attend, but I had to be here with you. In February, the National Universities Commission approved 2 new postgraduate programs, the Master of Public Health and the Master of Information Technology. These are not just degrees, they are pathways to solving our continent's most pressing challenge.
Thank you. Former Governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, is the keynote speaker. He underscores the need for incoming students to build a culture of service, leadership, and problem solving.
Let me be clear. Knowledge alone on its own will not be enough to support and sustain you in your journey of life. Your character, which is the sum total of many values, such as honesty, trust, and respect for constituted authorities, for rules and regulations, and your fidelity to your colleagues and associates will be a most important factor.
Some of the newly matriculated students speak on their expectations.
It's very amazing. Like, the words were very encouraging. Their vision for us is not just for now, but for tomorrow. They are really doing great work by empowering us, by making us know that education is not just physical, but you can study online and still become the best.
Miva gave me a very great opportunity, you know. Miva made me to know that there's something ahead of me. There's something I have to go for. There's something I have to fight for to get.
Miva Open University is a leading online university with 4 centers in Nigeria. It hopes to expand its operational bases to other parts of the country in the coming years. Daily Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
And still ahead on the news at 10, S&P Global Ratings upgrades Nigeria's outlook from stable to positive, highlighting renewed economic momentum fueled by President Tinubu's reform efforts. That's on business. Please join us again.
In every show, we bring you closer to the fastest growing movie industry in the world. From the making to the premiere. Get up close and personal with the stars and industry captains, plus reviews and much more. Nollywood Uncut, every week at these times.
Modern lifestyle requires a lot of energy, backed up by intense production processes, which impact the environment in more ways than one.
The world has realized that you cannot deal with climate change without looking at loss of biodiversity.
On Echo Africa, nature speaks and the discerning mind becomes champion of sustainable living.
One thing we want to do is to change public behavior around recycling.
Watch Echo Africa on Channels Television and find out what nature is saying.
Welcome back. Well, in the hospitality sector, hotels and suites are set to light up Lagos this December with the return of its tropical Christmas wonderland, an annual festive experience. At a press conference in Lagos to unveil the 2025 edition of the program tagged The Kingdom of Lights, the general manager of the hotel, Mr. Dani Akapokroglu, said this year's event will deliver more value with interesting features that typifies the African Christmas.
This Christmas, Lagos glows brighter than ever. Eco Hotel and Suites proudly present the Kingdom of Lights. It's the Tropical Christmas Wonderland 2025, a celebration of joy, music, and magic. It's African by design, but international in reach.
We want it to be the catalyst. We want it to be the spark that will also excite others. You know, 8 years ago, nobody was talking about Dirty December. I have told the story time and again. 18th of December, the hotel was dying, period. It was a graveyard from the 18th until the 10th of January. You know, now is the most exciting period of the year.
Eco Hotel is not at it alone. Its key partners are still on board to make this Christmas season unforgettable.
Zenith Bank saw it as one of the greatest partnerships we've ever done. So year in, year out, we look forward to this partnership. And if nothing else convinces you about the success of this partnership, the numbers. You know, when we looked at the numbers a few days ago, it was something in the region of 2,800 and something per show to a whooping 13,000.
This ties to what we stand for. Excitement, enjoyment of life, and bringing families together.
At the Kingdom of Lights, enjoy the Grand Carnival with King Kai, Santa Floats Parade, the Theatre of Lights, and much more.
We're cutting no corners at all to ensure that you have the most comparable, the most spectacular family experience on the African continent. Everything from Broadway musical theaters to, for this year, for the first time, puppet shows, a bigger and more grander circus show. I'm so proud of the circus that, you know, I think that you should come and experience all of Africa's talent.
During Christmas period, you look for things to keep the children busy. And then I just stumbled on it that year that, okay, this might be good. And I mean, it was amazing. The one that has stood out for me the most has been Candyland. My first child is in university now. And when we started, I think she was in like GS1 or thereabout. Until now, she still talks about it. She's not schooling here, but she keeps inviting people. You should come to Nigeria during Christmas. It's a great time for family bonding.
from December 20, 2025 to January 2nd, 2026, let the lights lead you home to Eko Hotel. Step into a tropical wonderland where every sparkle tells a story of a royal Christmas treatment for the family.
And to more corporate news now. Stanbic IBTC Holdings marked a significant milestone by successfully hosting the 11th edition of the flagship corporate social investment initiative, the Together for a Limb Walk. The event celebrated the empowerment of 64 new child beneficiaries with prosthetic limbs, bringing the total number of children supported since the initiative's conception to 200. All the beneficiaries also enjoyed the Edu Trust of the bank. The chief executive of Stanbic IBTC Holdings, Mr. Chuma Wakocha, with his team, was an active participant in the 5-kilometer walk, demonstrating the bank's commitment to the cause.
It's a significant day for Stanbic IBTC Holdings as staff and other relevant stakeholders get set for a 5-kilometer Together for a Limb Walk. The 11th edition is a milestone, and it's been aptly captured as a walk for 200 smiles, and the bank's leadership leads the way.
How many of you enjoyed it? Make a noise if you enjoyed it. Where are the Gen Zs now? Where are you guys?
For the chief executive of Stanbic IBTC Holdings, it's an exciting experience to nurture this initiative and watch it grow over the years.
Dreams are not constrained. They don't respect any physical limitations or imposition. My dream is that in a few years' time, this program will struggle to find children to support. Because every child will grow up healthy, strong, and pursuing their dreams. That's not just a dream, but a prayer I made on this walk this morning. As part of the program, we do not only provide prosthetic limbs, but we also help them with education until they turn 18.
With remarks and goodwill messages from the Lagos State government and other supporting bodies done, it's time for the presentation of the Edu Trust to beneficiaries.
Ready? And this session will be led by...
They are 64 in numbers who received prosthetic limbs, bringing the total beneficiaries to 200.
I want to appreciate everyone that is here, the staff members, the medical professional, our partners. Special recognition to the beneficiary. You inspire us with your courage and determination. Together, we prove that every child can move freely, learn confidently, and dream without limits. Stanbic IBTC, Together for a Limb. And to celebrate the 200, we are going to count 1 to 200. Yes, I'm ready.
With initiative like this, Stanbic IBTC shows its commitment to building a more inclusive, equitable and compassionate society for every child, regardless of physical limitations.
And in environmental development, the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, has convened a colloquium bringing together academics, researchers and industry experts to fine-tune the operational frameworks for the Center of Excellence for Environment Restoration, one of its flagship projects nearing completion at Wakarakana local government area in Rivers State. The 3-day event in Port Harcourt aims to strengthen collaboration and ensure sustainability of the center, which is expected to drive research and training in environmental restoration. Our correspondent Deborah Agbalama reports.
In what has been described as a major leap in Nigeria's environmental restoration efforts, the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, has convened a high-level forum to chart a sustainable path for the soon-to-be completed Center of Excellence for Environmental Remediation, CI in Ogoniland. It marks another milestone in HYPREP's commitment to the Ogoni cleanup, coming shortly after the federal government approved the full directorate status for the center.
I want to respectfully add that the decision of the federal government to make the Ogoni cleanup a national priority under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of Environment and Chairman of Governing Council of Hybrid, Baralabi Abbas Lawal, has brought renewed momentum to our work at the Project Coordination Office and accelerated implementation across all components of the cleanup project from 2023 to date. I am pleased to report that Hybrid is advancing firmly and faithfully in all thematic areas of intervention, including remediation, provision of potable water, public health, sustainable livelihood programs, shoreline cleanup, mangrove restoration, and critical infrastructure development, such as the Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration and the Ogoni Power Project.
Delivering the keynote address, the Director of International Research at Lancaster University, Professor Kirk Semple, lays out workable models for ensuring the center's sustainability, such as partnerships between government and agencies, funding institutions, and development organizations.
Winning funding is absolutely critical to progression. Okay, so I talked about the Global Challenges Research funding with African countries. So that funding comes to an end. Right? What do? Okay. Do you do the usual thing of saying, well, it's been great working with you for the last 5 years. That thing that we did different is now called the Africa Research and Innovation Partnership Network.
Taking a cue of shared responsibility from the keynote address, the Vice Chancellors of the River State University and the Federal University of Environment and Technology pledged active collaborations to support the center's long-term vision.
Because as a center of excellence, we look forward to environmental research, innovation, and of course, environmental sustainability. Our university is already in line with that thinking, and we are ready to partner using that chair to work with this center.
I'm so excited being here because this center of excellence and my university have a lot of things in common, and we're going to partner in a very great way to bring about knowledge sharing, technological advancement towards managing our environment, and of course building manpower and engaging communities like you're doing.
International partners also lend their voices to the cause.
I think it's fair to say that report, which often we hear referenced, was the blueprint for the creation of HyPrep and a number of those UNEP recommendations which we crafted. We had the view that if we could get it right in the Niger Delta, if we could get it right in Nigeria, we could pretty much do it anywhere.
The Netherlands has been involved in the Niger Delta for many years now, and to this end, we have supported various processes in the region. We are committed to the restoration and remediation of Ogoni land.
The center, now 92% complete, is poised to become an international hub for research, innovation, and vocational skills development. It will host state-of-art laboratories and certification programs designed to strengthen local capacity in Ogoniland and across the Niger Delta. Deborah Balama, Channels Television News.
Right, to some business news now. International credit rating agency S&P Global Ratings has revised Nigeria's sovereign credit outlook from stable to positive, while reaffirming its long and short-term foreign and local currency rating at B- and B. According to S&P, the upgrade reflects improving external economic, fiscal, and monetary indicators, driven largely by a series of bold reforms introduced by President Bola Tinubu's administration since 2023. S&P also projects average annual growth of 3.7% for Nigeria between 2025 and 2028, up from its earlier forecast of 3.2%. This optimistic outlook is underpinned by stronger private sector confidence and increased oil output. On inflation, the agency expects a gradual decline, targeting 13% by 2028, though it warns that inflation will remain high, above 20% in the near term. Meanwhile, Nigeria's finance minister and coordinating minister of the economy, Wale Edun, has hailed S&P Global Ratings' decision to revise Nigeria's outlook to positive, saying it affirms the impact of the Tinubu administration reforms. In his response, Mr. Edun says the upgrade signals rising global confidence in Nigeria's fiscal and monetary direction, noting that key reforms, including fuel subsidy removal, FX market liberalization, and revenue-boosting measures, are beginning to deliver results. The minister adds that the improved outlook strengthens Nigeria's position to attract investment and access more favorable financing, promising that the government will intensify efforts to stabilize the economy, sustain reforms, and deliver inclusive growth. And a recent assurance by Finance Minister Mr. Wale Edun of a balanced approach to the proposed capital gains tax, the Managing Director and CEO of NASD PLC, Mr. Waride Longa, says there is need for clear and accessible information on tax efforts to guide investors and strengthen market confidence. He was a guest on Capital Market earlier today.
Capital gains tax, I think, as he's explained it to us, is quite positive. You know, it's actually capital gains tax in reality. So if you're going to trade and reinvest your money, then you don't pay capital gains, right? You know, and then the threshold is pretty high, from 150 million. I mean, so, well, I'd say pretty high to a certain degree. You know, so it's simply trying to encourage reinvestment, you know. But people have complained also about the rate, which is 30%. You know, so I think that there should be a bit more education and awareness creation on this, you know, and I think more importantly, we need to speak with our investor base in the DFIs and the FDIs so that they realize what exactly is happening.
And to the stock market now. The Nigerian exchange closed the week on a negative note as the all-share index declined by 1.68% to settle at 147,000 points. Market capitalization was around 93.50 trillion. In terms of activity, investors exchanged 7.32 billion units of shares, a green close on volume. The market value was up 156.42 billion, while total deals was down to 134,363 trades, closing in the red. Sectoral performance was mostly positive. The banking index up 1.26%, industrial goods up 6.97%, consumer goods was also up by 0.46%, and insurance index up 2.42%. On the flip side, oil and gas, that was down by 0.85%. Top gainers for the week include NCR PLC, Asso Savings and Loans PLC, and Champion Breweries PLC. On the losers chart, the heaviest declines came from Union Dickon Salt PLC, down 18.72% to 6 naira 30 kobo. Meanwhile, Cornerstone Insurance, Axis Holdings PLC, and Zenith Bank led the activity chart as the most traded stocks for the week. And the NASD Securities Exchange closed the week lower as the index fell by 1.31%. A market cap that's still 2.16 trillion. Trading activity was positive. Volume was up 28.10% to 3.91 billion units. Value 772% up at 11.13 billion. Total deals that was up at 103 trades, up 11%. On price performance, Afriland Properties, Central Securities Clearing System PLC, NASD PLC were the top gainers. For the losers, that was led by Double One PLC, which fell 8.33% to 360 naira. On the activity chart, the most traded securities for the week, that was Double One PLC, Aegon Petroleum PLC, Afriland Properties PLC. All right, let's get what's happening in the world of sports now. Olumide has the details.
Welcome to Sports News. Thank you, Laddie. Golf enthusiasts from across the globe gathered in Lagos to witness the Koyi Club Ladies' 50th Anniversary Golf Open. The championship drew players from 11 countries and delivered intense competition, vibrant social events, and memorable celebrations.
Golfers from 11 countries converged in Lagos for the 50th anniversary of the Ikoyi Ladies Golf Club Tournament. The star-studded open amateur event forms part of activities put together by the club's leadership to commemorate its Golden Jubilee Founders Day anniversary.
We are excited. We're over the moon. This is our 50th, our golden years of ladies swinging, golden years of ladies walking together around the course, golden years of international participants coming into Ikoyi Club 1938 to display skill, to display commitment, to rank with the World Amateur Golf Ranking system.
Organizers say the momentum from the Golden Jubilee will drive even bigger tournaments in the years ahead.
When you have a spectrum of different countries coming to play in one sport, that is enough motivation and gingering, because what that means is that you're going beyond your comfort zone, you're working with other people who have interests, who have skills, who have prepared all year round for your tournament, and why not, if not, get people and enjoy and come on the field and display yourself.
After 3 days of intense and highly competitive golf, Uganda's Peace Kabasweka emerged champion for the second consecutive year, solidifying her dominance on the Ikoyi course. The action on the greens was followed by an evening of fun, music, and celebration as players, guests, and dignitaries relaxed after the tournament. The awards ceremony featured mouth-watering prizes across various categories, highlighted by a premium travel ticket to the United States of America for one of the top winners and a championship trophy.
I would like to congratulate Ikoyi Ladies section for the 50th milestone. We thank God for this. We were up and down, but we made it. We thank God. Thank you, everybody. I'm so excited.
As the Ikoyi Ladies Golf Club 1938 marks 50 years of excellence, this year's tournament not only celebrated sporting achievement, but also showcased the club's legacy of fostering unity, national friendship, and the advancement of women in golf.
Now, Super Eagles captain William Troost Ekong, the three-time African champions, understand what is at stake and will not be complacent against DR Congo. In his opinion, he acknowledged that the DR Congo is a good side, but believes the Super Eagles are growing in confidence and don't want to miss the chance to be at the World Cup. He's also delighted that Wilfred Ndidi has been cleared to play in the game.
I believe it's true that Wilfred can play tomorrow, which everyone is really happy about. So there was some clarification. I think that's all out now, so no surprises. And I think that we also understand clearly what it will mean for any player on the yellow card for the next game. So that's good to know. And secondly, yeah, no, the boys are, first of all, I think happy to be here competing on Sunday. There's no other motivation that we need. We all want to go to the World Cup, so it's going to be a difficult game. Congo also did well to get to the final here for Africa. I don't think you can ever compare teams in Africa, and also we have to adapt. But at the same time, I think we are also starting to create a clear identity, and that's something that we want to continue to build on. And it will be an interesting game on Sunday for sure.
That's it on Sports News. Laddie's back with the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks, Olumide. So some global news now. The U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order exempting certain food products, including coffee, bananas, beef, avocados, mangoes, from his broad import tariffs. The decision follows growing pressure as Americans grapple with rising living costs and comes after a Republican Party faced setbacks in last week's elections. The White House explained that these exemptions apply to products not sufficiently produced domestically, ensuring continued availability without contributing to higher prices. Trump has maintained that his 10% baseline tariffs, alongside additional levies on several trading partners, would not unduly affect American consumers. The move signals the administration's effort to balance trade policies with domestic economic concerns, particularly the cost of living. And the UN Human Rights Council has given unanimous backing to a fresh independent investigation into mass killings reported in the Sudanese city El Fasher. And at an emergency meeting in Geneva, UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk said wake-up calls were not needed as bloodstains on the ground in El Fasher have been photographed from space. He adds that the stains on the record of the international community is less visible but no less damaging. Since the civil war began in Sudan over 2 years ago, more than 150,000 people have been killed and about 12 million have been forced from their homes. And the main news again. The PDP has expelled the FCT Minister Wike, National Secretary Anyanwu, former Governor Fayose, and 8 others for anti-party activities, citing clear violations of party rules. And reactions have trailed the expulsion of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and others from the PDP. Adamawa State Governor and Chairman of the PDP 2025 Elective National Convention, Amadu Fintiri, has disassociated himself from the position of the party. And that's it on the news at 10. We'll lead you back to the convention after this. Thanks for watching. I'm Vladi Williams. Good night.